Alright, so there's the first jack smelt here on a grub. Well, felt like I had one there. Must have let go. Probably realized it was a piece of rubber and spit it back out. Well, yeah, I don't know. They seem to stop biting. I got a few like sample bites. Here's what happens with the sabikis. The hooks will, you know, you're shaking around a lot though. Not too hard to get rid of that, but it can get worse if you got a couple of smelt on here and they swim around each other. But we're gonna try a few more shakes with this here, and if that don't pan out, we're gonna go back and putting some real bait on there, since the real bait was working pretty good. Okay, I just checked back out there with sardines on it again. Same sabiki. As long as the smelt are out there, if the perch show up, if the smelt took off and the perch show up, oh, something's biting out. I think it's probably a jack smelt. I don't think they're finished with this area yet. The problem with the sardine, the reason I'm not shaking the line anymore, is that it was getting really soft to the point where it's falling apart. Okay, now I got one. Okay, I might as well just bring that one in. But just the shaking of this one jack smelt on the line, you know, knock most of the rest of that sardine bait off. So this sardine is just about headed as far as its ability to stay on the hook. However, these jack smelt are loving it. And they would not go after those, for whatever reason. I didn't get any of them on those grubs, so we're just gonna keep chucking this out there until we run out of this stuff. Don't put shrimp on there. If we don't start getting some perch bite by then maybe we'll just push this away. Well, I think it's good enough of that sardine. You saw a few little pieces fall off as it was traveling through the air. They did. That's how tender the sardine bait gets. Okay. But a few pieces that are still on there, hopefully we'll nail a couple more of these jack smelt with it. Got another, I had one there. The thing about the jack smelt is they got these little mouths and they got these huge bodies. So they bite onto your hook sometimes. Sometimes their mouths just tear right off. But the body is so big and they start swimming, there's all that weight against that small little mouth that they have. And that's not a pretty thing to describe, but that's the reality of what's happening out there. There seems to be this one sweet spot, so that's what I'm throwing in now. We can see just from that that one cast, that one bite, that almost catch on another jack smelt, almost all the sardines fell off except for the tail. See how the tail likes to stay on there? See that one flipping right at the top of the water and it just fell right back in. But you saw how it pulls. The nice thing about these jack smelt, they put up a nice little fight. Yeah. I mean, in other words, you know that they're on that line there. All right, but see how all the sardine fell off just for those couple of bites I had there. And pretty soon there will be no sardines and we will be stuck with using the shrimp. But the percentage of bite to hookup should be improved dramatically. Right now we're just whetting their appetite, you know. Creating of this shrimp is cut it into small jack smelt sized pieces, and we're going to get rid of this shell here kind of the soft shell sand crab concept where you get rid of the shell and it's all that much more attractive. Get rid of that for now. And just cut off some small sized chunks. Okay, so got these little chunks here, jack smelt sized chunks of a stiffer mussel, the squid. I mean the shrimp, right? Squid would be great. I just don't have any on me right now. Just put these on these little, this sabiki here is a glow in the dark. These are really nice to have if you're doing night fishing. I get these from Market Coastside. They say that these hooks are 4s, but they look more like a 6 to me. It's a pretty small hook, which is how most sabikis are. I've seen some with hooks that get up to being about the size of the 2, but not going to be using that for fish with mouths this small. So, we are hoping that they will start biting on this shrimp, because I've got 5 fish in there. I'd like to get about 20 jack smelt. Oh, let's see on the camera. I'd like to get about 20 jack smelt today. That way I can give away some to my friends. Right back in the sweet spot. Oh, look at it right away. Yeah. They're going crazy now, so that feeding frenzy that I was hoping for has started. I think I'm going to put the GoPro on my chest just so you can see how when you're bringing these jack smelt across the top water, they kind of look like mini stripers, you know? And if they get big enough sometimes, you almost think that you got a striper on there. However, you can't catch a striper with a sabiki and keep it. The striper must be caught with 2 hooks on a line. So, if we do catch any striper like this accidentally, we've got to throw it back. But then we're putting on the 2 hook. Then we'll put on the 2 hook setup. Catch 1 striper. Hopefully, you know, there's a couple more out there. But yeah, they will be attracted to something moving through the water like this, especially if you're shaking it. That will attract striper. We'll bring them over. I have accidentally caught one before on a sabiki line. I had to release it though, like I said, you can't keep it legally. So, play by the book and you won't get a ticket. Look at all them bites I'm getting. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, I think I got something on there. Yeah. Something's coming in, so I better bring it in before it falls off. Are you kidding me? This one's some kind of a perch. Okay. I usually catch perch when a jack smelter around, but it's a little one. It's a little silver perch, okay, and we're going to let it go back into the water. Silver perch here, little orange pinkish tail here, silver body. Walleye look similar. They have bigger eyes, they have black tips on their pectoral fins. So just toss that right back in the water and catch it when it gets a little bit bigger. Well, maybe the perch can start showing up, and if they do, then we can switch back over to the 2 hook setup, which I prefer, in case I catch a striper. I don't want to have to put that striper back. There we go, there's another hit. I'll get mostly jack smelt. It's hitting like that, isn't it? There we go. See all those hits? Not one hookup. Because of the small mouths and they bite into it and they pull it off. They bite and they pull. And they pull that shrimp right off the line. Right off the hook, I should say. Okay, so you see how the shrimp stays on the line a little better than those sardines. I still got 2 pieces left here, but we'll load it back up so we got a full load, better presentation. Okay, I got something on here. Here's another jack smelt. Yep, it sure is. The jack smelt school is still around, and there we go, right on the bottom hook. This 6-hook Pacifica. But see, they got such a big body and they shake and they move and they have a small mouth. A lot of times I think when they fall off it's because it tears right through their mouth. And that's one of the unfortunate consequences. But they either heal up and move on. A cut mouth is going to stop them from continuing their pursuit of life. Yeah, most life forms just keep on going. Keep on going. Until the real end comes. Okay, oh, okay. I had a little signal pop up that said not enough space on the SD card. A lot of times I just have to turn it off. Here's another one of these little silver perch. So they're starting to show up. Too small. Silvers are good, but I don't keep them unless they're, I don't know, about 8 inches or so. It all depends. But, yeah, this one here is maybe 6 inches. Try to get this hook out without touching his eye. There we go. Right back into the water. Nice. Sometimes you forget that you're recording. Okay, well, let's film a cast or something like that. I'll show you where the sweet spot is right now. So here I am. Got it on wide angle. Luckily there's no wind blowing, otherwise I'm not sure I'd be able to set up my tripod like this. Right over there. Just chucking it over there. I'm not even shaking the line or anything anymore. Dumping it in there. And boom. Now I've got the chesty back on, the GoPro chesty. I wanted you to see how these things look when they're coming across the top water when you're bringing them in. It's pretty cool when you're up this high. I'm about 15 feet up in the air on this rock, maybe 20 feet. Seems like I got something on there. It's not much of a fighter. So we'll bring this across the top water so you can see this. Okay, point this down the water like that. See that? Oh wow, there's 2 fish on there. Looks like there's 2 perch on there. Okay. Walleye are very good tasting. Well, that was the silver. That one catch and released itself. This one's a walleye. Very good tasting fish. This one's still pretty small though, so I'm gonna let it go. See, it looks kind of like the silver. We see the bigger eyes, and on the pectoral fins, see the black tips on the pectoral fins there? It gets caught in the top part of their head like that. Sometimes it really sticks in there good, but there it goes. Walleye perch. Catch and release. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay, that's a fish on there. Okay, so let's bring this one across the top water so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, it's kind of hard to do. See that? I think there's 2 of them on there, yeah. Wow. Oh, they both fell off at the same time. But see how they came across the water like that? Okay. They look like these little striper, 2 of them. Wow. So Jack Smelt are still hitting. I think I just might keep on loading this up with shrimp like this until they stop. Then I'll get out of here. Feeding frenzy on a day that's just been very cold. I'm not talking about the water temperature. I'm talking about the fish bite. Yeah, you use something like sardines or mussels, you know, and you create somewhat of a feeding frenzy like we've got going now. You can basically put anything on there. And you can start, you know, if you notice, like earlier in the video, I had bigger glumps of sardines on there. And that's because even if it doesn't catch the fish as successfully, all that sardine goes in the water, and that helps to create the feeding frenzy in the local area. But once you got that big group of fish there, kind of work it up like this, see, like that. And so when the fish goes in to bite at this, just the tension it creates by pushing on the hook, the tension it creates on the string will drive this right up into something hard in its mouth. So yeah, once they're going crazy for anything, you know, change your baiting technique around. Use less bait. Make it a very specific target, and you'll start hitting more. So that's what we're going to try right now. I think this one is a perch. It's funny how the perch are much more docile than the Jack Smelt. That's why I think when a big, angry, well, for use of a better term, instead of angry, just say a very hungry group of Jack Smelt is circling around on a beach, I think these guys kind of, they see this big life form coming at them, and they take a place back in the rocks or go back around the corner or something until the Jack Smelt are gone, because they're a little more gentle. That might be what's been keeping them away. And luckily for me, I'm able to climb way out here to this spot. Okay, way out here to this spot to be able to get at the Jack Smelt, because they weren't hitting from the shore. They do. One time I was catching them. I was catching Jack Smelt right there in the last set of breakers breaking on the shore. And they were eating small baby sand crabs. There we go. That's what we're using right now. This is the hookup. That'll get them to bite here. Boom. That'll go right in their mouth. You could leave the shell on. We'll leave the shell on this one just to demonstrate the difference. So. And something like that you could just put on there just to draw attention to your line. Well, you've got enough bait on there already. So it's sort of... All right, got something going on here. Okay. Right here. Oh, another jack smelt. There we go. That's an average size one there. Them pelicans there. And look at that bite. That's definitely a jack smelt right there. Let's pull this one across. Wow. This is a real strong fish. Kind of hard for me to get this chesty angle to where you can see him coming across the top water. See it right there? That's pretty cool. Like I'm twisting my body so I could get a camera angle on that. Oh, and that's why it felt so big. There's two of them. They are still hitting. Looks like they'll be sharing these with friends. This is a real big one. Other one, slim, young, big one. Yeah, this one's real skinny, real young. Might be something on here. Yeah, now there definitely is. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But also sometimes, okay, I'm twisting my body again so you can see that smelt coming across the top water there. See that? Jack smelt. Oh, there's two of them. Oh no. Wow. There's a perch and a smelt. Yeah, the perch looks a little bit too small. Perch are having a lucky day. I haven't seen them for so long, but I don't keep them when they're this small. Let's get rid of this guy first. No, let's get rid of the guy that's gonna live. There we go. And this poor guy has seen his last meal. He will soon be the meal for somebody else. Small one, but good enough. Sometimes I have somewhat of a nightmarish thought where these jack smelt are the only thing left in the ocean. You know, they're taking over, and I'm sent out here to catch as many as I can to keep them from taking over. I mean, that's one way of, keeping myself from feeling guilty about it. I kind of cut myself off, but I was talking about how sometimes I have these, especially when I get into this big school of jack smelt like this, I have these thoughts that someday these guys might just take over the whole ocean, and that's the only thing left in the ocean. There's a few other oceans. That's the way I keep myself from feeling guilty about taking these jack smelt, is that it's my job. I'm sitting here to catch these jack smelt so the perch can come back on in. So I'm doing this for the perch. But I'm not really. That's just kind of a fairy tale way of thinking about it. When you're out here, you think about a lot of crazy things. Oh, looks like there's some more of them out there again. I don't think this is going to stop. But I'm definitely going to leave when the sun gets right there on the horizon. I start getting this close to the sunset and I start thinking, well, you know, maybe I should try for striper and put on another setup. But my experience has shown me that, like I said, when big schools of jack smelt are around, there's not too much around. Now these little silvers that I've been picking up, they're probably just hiding in these rocks right now, and then they jet out there once in a while. But you see this big mob of these jack smelt, hungry jack smelt, swimming around in circles. That's enough to keep some of the smaller fish tucked away. Not the stripers. Stripers will probably go in there and eat some of them. But look at this part. We'll just finish the day off. Try to hit that 20 jack smelt I was talking about. I don't know what I'm at right now, but I'm getting real close. So maybe the perch are finally moving in. Nope. Another jack smelt. There we go. Right down there. So I'm going to count this one along with everything in the bucket. See how close I am to 20. I think that's what we'll do, is we'll hit 20 jack smelt and I'll just call it quits. It'll be 5 for me and 5 for this person and that person that I know that like eating smelt. All right, here we go. Young one. Nice thing about the jack smelt in the ocean is they don't have those parasites, those little ringworm parasites. Look at these. If you go in the bay, catch a lot of jack smelt too. But they get those parasites going. What's really been nice though today is the fact there's no wind at all. which is not as much a factor if you're not filming it for YouTube. If you're just out here fishing, you don't think about the wind factor as much. But it does affect everything. Everything's a factor. You always have to factor in everything. But it sure has been nice and calm. I mean, absolutely no wind that I'm feeling at all in any way, shape, or form. I had this sitting over here on the stone and it didn't go anywhere. And the wind's blowing. Got to be a little more careful where you put your stuff. But I think what we got going on right now is I think we've reached the bottom of the low tide. Now it's pushing back towards the high tide. So it's probably a good time to get out of here.